Did I lie? Did I not tell you them crackers was not finna get Jay-Z no damn casino in New York City? Did I not tell y'all that? This man done would've took a loan against his house because they wouldn't even give him a loan to go and put a bid in on the casino because he had the owner of Caesar's Palace and then he had an ex-federal informant and mob ties down there trying to put a bid on a casino to bring into Broadway.
Jay-Z is furious right now. And honestly, who wouldn't be? Imagine staking your billionaire name, your empire, and your entire New York legacy on a flashy Times Square casino project, only for the city to shut it down before it even gets rolling. Then, just days later, Nas, yes, the same Nas who roasted Jay on Ether, suddenly gets approval for his own $5 billion Queens casino deal. That's wild. The timing? Way too perfect to be coincidence. And to twist the knife even deeper, Queensboro President Donovan Richards didn't hold back. He bragged to reporters saying Queens gets the money. Sorry, Jay-Z, we win again.
And there's a theme in Queens, and I know Nas is a part of this. Queens get the money. Sorry, Jay-Z, we win again. I just had to rub that in.
Like, seriously? That wasn't just shade. That was a full-blown victory lap aimed straight at Jay. Now the city's buzzing like crazy. Fans are connecting dots, whispering that this isn't just about business, it's personal. It's got that same takeover versus Ether energy all over again, with pride, power, and revenge back in the mix. It's like history repeating itself. The universe just handed Nas another W, and Jay's gotta be boiling watching it unfold. For context, Jay had teamed up with Caesar's Palace for a massive Times Square casino worth billions, a deal he called the new crown jewel of New York. The kind of move only Hav could pull off. But now, that jewel just slipped right through his fingers.
Yesterday, Wednesday, a state board rejected the Times Square casino bid from Jay-Z in Roc Nation and those companies that I mentioned.
But the city wasn't buying what Jay was selling. Broadway insiders came out swinging, locals pushed back hard, and the advisory board shut the whole thing down cold. It was over before it even had a chance to breathe. Now, get this, Nas is out here winning where Jay couldn't, and fans are calling it one of the craziest plot twists in hip-hop business history. In an instant, Jay-Z's Times Square empire dream went up in smoke. And that's shocking, because Jay doesn't take public L's. Not like this. He spent decades building that image of being untouchable, the smooth operator, always 10 steps ahead, always winning. So seeing him get shut down before his plan even reached the final round, that's not just embarrassing. That's a crack in the mogul armor he's spent his whole career perfecting.
You know it. We met to standard and then some, and the only one with courage to stand up is the governor and the mayor appointees, and everybody else runs and hides.
What really hurts? Jay wanted Manhattan, the lights, the Broadway money, the tourist flow, the kind of move that screams New York King. But instead, the city slammed the door right in his face. And then, just days later, Nas walks in, calm and collected, and lands the full green light for his Queens casino plan. You can't script this kind of irony. The timing's vicious. For Jay, this isn't just a business setback. It feels like the start of a revenge arc unfolding in real time. And if there's one thing everyone knows about Hav, he never forgets a loss. You better believe he's already plotting a comeback in silence. Meanwhile, while Jay's Times Square dream burned out, Nas was quietly leveling up. His Queens Resorts World at Aqueduct project just got the final green light, and it's looking like a game changer. And let's be clear, this ain't no side hustle. This is a $5 billion mega project that's about to flip Queens into a mini Vegas of its own. They're talking live tables, poker, blackjack, craps, the whole 9 yards. Plus, a huge concert arena, luxury hotel vibes, and even a sports academy backed by NBA legend Kenny the Jet Smith. This isn't just a casino, it's an entertainment empire in the making. And Nas? He's not just collecting checks, he's got equity. He's deep in the trenches, shaping this thing from the ground up. The man's literally turning his own neighborhood into a billion-dollar playground. And when Nas spoke about the project, you could feel it. This wasn't about ego or competition, it was personal. He said it was a win for the community, promising jobs, family growth, and opportunities for the next generation. Then he dropped that cold-blooded line, "Clearly, with this project, the world is ours." That hit different. That wasn't just confidence. That was a flex. Especially when you look at the timing. Jay gets rejected in Manhattan, and right after, Nas comes through in Queens like a hometown superhero. Fans didn't waste a second. They flooded socials with memes, saying stuff like Nas ethered him again, this time with business receipts.
What was your thoughts when you heard the song?
This motherfucker, he's going crazy. This motherfucker going crazy. Oh, Yo.
The internet's in flames right now, and honestly, they've got a point. When you line up the timing, it doesn't look like two moguls just chasing casino money. It feels deeply personal. For Jay, this loss isn't just about business. It's about taking another hit from the one man who's outplayed him before. And for someone who built his entire brand around being the Brooklyn chess master, watching Queens take the crown has gotta sting. From Rockefeller to Rock Nation, from Marcy Projects to Billionaire Mogul, Jay-Z's entire brand screams strategy, power, and dominance. So taking an L like this, especially to Nas, has gotta sting bad. What makes it even wilder? Nas has this crazy pattern of showing up right when everyone counts him out, and flipping the whole story on its head. Remember back in the day when Jay tried to clown him on Takeover, calling him washed and irrelevant? Nas wasn't having it. He fired back with Ether and obliterated Jay's image. So hard it flipped hip-hop's balance of power overnight. That track didn't just win a battle, it rewrote rap history. Fast forward to now, and it's deja vu all over again. Jay's going corporate, aiming for Times Square, trying to plant his flag in the center of New York, and then out of nowhere, Nas slides in from Queens with the winning hand. It's poetic, it's petty, and it's perfectly timed. This casino war feels like Ether 2.0, but with billion-dollar stakes. Jay lines up his flashy Times Square empire, thinking he's about to own the city again, and then boom, denied. And right on cue, Nas glides in from Queens, the so-called underdog borough, and walks away with the win, cool as ever. You couldn't script a sharper comeback if you tried. But to really understand why this one hits so deep, you gotta rewind to where it all started. Because their feud didn't begin with business or billions, it began with something way more personal. Back in the mid-90s, Nas was already the golden child of New York hip-hop. When he dropped Illmatic in '94, he instantly became the king of lyricism, the rapper's rapper, pure respect from the streets. Meanwhile, Jay-Z was still climbing his way up. He dropped Reasonable Doubt in '96, and even though it's a classic now, back then it barely made a dent on the charts. The streets knew he was fire, but the mainstream crown? Nah, that belonged to Nas. Then came the spark that set everything off. Jay wanted Nas to appear in his Dead Presidents video, but Nas never showed. Instead, Jay went ahead and sampled Nas's voice for the hook without even asking. A bold move, maybe too bold. Nas wasn't feeling that at all. That one move planted the seed of tension that never died. From that day on, it was like Jay was chasing Nas's throne, trying to prove he was the next true king of New York. While Nas saw him as a younger challenger who needed to stay in his lane. It became a cold war. Quiet, strategic, but always simmering under the surface. And just like now, the pattern kept repeating. Jay's got this thing. He always tries to one-up Nas, move bigger, think smarter, play louder. But Nas? He waits, patient, silent, then steps in at the perfect time to remind everyone that Jay-Z might be powerful, but he's not untouchable. After Biggie's death, that silent rivalry exploded. The King of New York title was wide open, and both wanted it. That's when the subliminal stopped and the real shots started flying. The tension turned into war, and hip-hop's greatest rivalry was officially born. After Biggie's death in '97, the whole city was asking the same question. Who's next to wear the crown of New York? That's when the quiet tension between Jay-Z and Nas finally exploded, transforming from a subtle rivalry into a full-blown power struggle for the throne. Jay saw himself as the natural heir. He was dropping back-to-back albums, linking with the biggest names, and stacking business moves like chess pieces. Every step was calculated. Every collab was strategic. Jay was determined to prove he was the next king of New York, no debate about it. Meanwhile, Nas already had that chosen one aura. Illmatic made him untouchable in the streets, pure legend status. But when his follow-ups didn't hit quite as hard, whispers started flying. Maybe Nas was slipping. Maybe his time was up. And guess who helped push that idea? Jay. He didn't hold back either, tossing slick subliminals on tracks like Where I'm From, painting himself as Biggie's true successor while hinting that Nas was old news. Nas wasn't gonna let that slide. Not a chance. He fired back with his own bars on We Will Survive, hinting that Jay was trying too hard to grab Biggie's throne. The tension was electric. You could feel it in the air. The fans ate it up, dividing the city right down the middle. Brooklyn versus Queens. Jay-Z, the hustler turned mogul, versus Nas, the poetic visionary from the projects. This wasn't just rap anymore. It was legacy warfare. And then came 2001, the year that changed hip-hop forever. Jay-Z finally said forget the subliminals, and went straight for the jugular. He dropped Takeover Live at Summer Jam, calling Nas out by name, claiming he only had one classic and boldly declaring his career was done. The crowd went crazy. For a moment, it looked like Jay had claimed victory right there on that stage, like the war was over before it even started. But Nas? Oh, he wasn't going out like that, not a chance. He came back swinging with ether, and when I say he went for blood, I mean it. He didn't just respond, he dismantled Jay-Z bar by bar, line by line, flipping the whole story upside down. The entire hip-hop world froze the moment ether dropped. This wasn't just a diss track, it was a moment in history. Nas obliterated Jay-Z with no mercy, no filter, just pure lyrical fire. He tore apart Jay's credibility, his image, even his legacy. Every bar hit like a punch to the gut. Fans couldn't believe how savage it was. Ether didn't just end a beef, it changed hip-hop forever. It hit so hard that getting ethered became the new slang for getting destroyed. That's how legendary it was. Fast forward to today, this whole casino drama feels like Ether Part 2. The parallels are wild. Jay moving with that same confident swagger, talking big like Times Square was already his territory. And then boom, Nas swoops in again, cool and calm, and walks off with another win nobody saw coming. It's like watching history replay itself right in front of our eyes. And just like back then, Jay didn't take that first L quietly either. He came back with Super Ugly, but that's where things got messy. Instead of keeping it lyrical, Jay crossed the line, bragging about sleeping with the mother of Nas's daughter. That wasn't strategy, that was personal, raw, and reckless. Yeah, Jay really thought that move was gonna score him points. But oh no, it blew up in his face. Fans weren't impressed, critics weren't impressed, nobody was feeling it, and the moment that sealed his fate, even Jay's own mom stepped in. She made him call Hot 97 live on air and publicly apologize for crossing the line. When your mama has to check you on the radio, you know it's gone too far. That right there was the turning point. The whole vibe shifted. People stopped seeing Jay as the smooth, untouchable mogul and started viewing him as the aggressor. Meanwhile, Nas became the fighter, the survivor, the man who refused to back down no matter how nasty it got. And guess what? That same energy's alive again today. Jay takes another public L while Nas quietly stacks up another legendary win. It's wild how history keeps looping itself. Every single time Jay tries to bury Nas, Nas flips the script and makes him look out of touch. It's like no matter how powerful Jay gets, Nas always finds a way to humble him, reminding everyone that legacy can't be bought, it's earned. But here's where it gets crazy. And as ugly as their feud got, it didn't last forever. After years of lyrical warfare, back and forth shots, and some of the most brutal diss tracks hip-hop's ever heard, these two actually did the impossible. They squashed it, and they didn't do it quietly behind closed doors either. Nah, they did it live on stage for the whole world to witness. It was 2005, Jay-Z's I Declare War concert. Fans packed the arena expecting more disses, more chaos, maybe even new targets. But instead, Jay flipped the script once again. He brought out Nas as a surprise guest. The second Nas stepped on that stage, the entire crowd lost its mind. The place erupted. It wasn't just another performance. It was history unfolding in real time. These two men who once wanted to end each other's careers were suddenly standing side by side, shaking hands, performing together like all that beef had never happened. It was one of those rare moments that went beyond music, pure hip-hop history. Fans couldn't believe their eyes. After all the venom, the disrespect, the years of chaos, there they were, united on stage. Soon after, they even teamed up on tracks like Black Republican and Success, proving the feud was buried, at least on the surface. It was like watching two kings call a truce on the battlefield, not defeated, but mutually respected. Still, let's be real. Peace doesn't erase competition. That quiet tension, that unspoken rivalry, it never truly disappeared. It's been simmering for years, even as both men built their empires and ran their own lanes like bosses. But now, fast forward to today, with this casino drama blowing up, it's starting to feel like that truce just expired. The gloves might not be officially off yet, but the energy's shifting fast. You can feel it. And here's the part nobody's talking about enough. This isn't just Nas versus Jay-Z anymore. This is Queens versus Brooklyn all over again. And if you know your New York hip-hop history, you already know how deep that runs. Brooklyn has always been about flash, power, and prestige. Jay, Biggie, the Barclays Center, it's all about luxury and dominance, the bright lights, the empire energy. Meanwhile, Queens has forever been the gritty underdog, the borough of fighters and storytellers. From LL Cool J to Mobb Deep, from Nicki Minaj to Nas himself, Queens represents heart, hustle, and truth. So when Jay's Times Square casino plan got shut down right in the heart of Manhattan, and then Nas swooped in and locked down a $5 billion win in Queens, the symbolism was too loud to ignore. It was like the city itself was saying, Brooklyn fumbled, Queens carried. You can feel that borough pride running deep again, just like old times. For fans who lived through the Ether era, this whole situation feels like deja vu. Same energy, same tension, same comeback story, just on a bigger, richer stage. But what really twists the knife for Jay is that this isn't just Nas outshining him. It's Nas doing it right in front of the whole city, on his own turf. And the people, they're loving every second of it. Now here's the thing, Jay's the type who never forgets a loss. He might play it cool on the surface, but you know he's plotting in silence. Because for him, every L is just fuel for the next move. So maybe this isn't about rap anymore. Maybe this next chapter of their rivalry is moving out of the booth and into the boardroom. Forget diss tracks. It's about billion-dollar power plays now. And once again, Queens is standing tall while Brooklyn's licking its wounds. What a wild, full-circle moment. From street battles to chart wars, and now to boardroom brawls. Jay-Z and Nas keep proving that their rivalry isn't just history, it's ongoing legend. Queens just scored a massive W, and Brooklyn's pride just took a major hit. But knowing Jay, this ain't the end. It's just the calm before his next big move. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more wild hip-hop stories. And I'll catch you on the next one.